I've got 2 days till Christmas and I have not taken care of my sister and her husband yet. So I thought the thing I could do is give them time, and I'm going to do that by putting together a one-click Domino's pizza. And what I mean is literally you just press a button and a pizza shows up at your house. And I want to accomplish that both by using the Dominos API and some MQTT, and I'll explain a little bit about how that works. I think everybody's already familiar with the fact that you can order Domino's online. You go to a website and you can talk through the internet to the Domino's server, and then it sends that order to a store and that order goes to your house. But Domino's also publishes a public API. So you can talk to the server not just as a human talking through a browser, but you can actually write programming code that talks to the server. That's done by what's called an API. API stands for Application Programmers Interface. It's confusing terminology for something that's not that complicated. You know that when you're on a browser, you're typing in certain addresses and information and it's talking to a server. That's a human using a browser, but computers are also able to talk to a server. Here's an analogy to help it make more sense. In a real world example, let's say you're applying for a job at 7-Eleven. I made up this address. This is just a form I download off the internet. We all know what's going on here. The form will say, look, give me your name, your social, your phone, and some other information in this format. Check the box, provide a number, and send it to this address. And similarly, computers can do the same thing. We've got web addresses, and we can create strings with information, and we can attach those strings with information to the end of this web request. And this would be the equivalent of submitting a job application to 7-Eleven, but through the internet. I can use JavaScript to take that same information. Let's say we create a variable called params and it contains all the relevant information, and then I can send params to this mail address using JavaScript. And that's kind of how computers can do the same thing that humans do when they're typing into a browser. If you've got the documentation for how to do it, for instance, here's the documentation for the Domino's API, you can create a program to talk to their server and order pizzas. In fact, I've already done that. So about 1.5 years ago, I created a video, and it shows a lot of detail on how this is done, and not really relevant for this video. But the point is, I've got basic code that instead of using a browser, I can run on a server and it will order a pizza for me from Domino's. How do I make this to where a button press can be used to execute this code and order the pizza? This is where MQTT comes in. MQTT is just another protocol for communicating over the internet. Normally when you talk to a web page, you're using HTTP. You've probably seen this in your browser several times. This is always communication between you and a server. MQTT is different. It's set up so that devices can talk to each other. It's not about talking to the broker. The broker just takes any information you send and distributes it to everybody else who's listening. This is what we're going to use to make our push button device talk to my server. Domino's hosts its site on Microsoft Azure. I've got a site at Digitalocean, and on that I've got some code that I can use to order a pizza. But in addition to that, I've got an MQTT broker running. So it means that I can connect devices to this broker, and any devices that are connected to the broker can talk to each other. I'm going to make a device, and this is going to be what I give to my sister and her husband for Christmas. And it's just going to be a little computer attached to a bunch of LED lights and push buttons. I'm going to program this device to talk to the MQTT broker, and I'm going to turn around and program this app to also listen to the MQTT broker. Whenever I push a button, this software will know about that. It will turn around and execute the Domino's code, which will make an order. And you see the two-way communication. If the order is successful, that information will be sent all the way back to the device so the green light can turn red. This part is under Domino's control. They should, once you execute the order, they're going to do their job and send that pizza to your house. So this is the full loop on how we make the Domino's box work. I'm going to break this project into 5 different tasks. First, I'm going to build the electronic circuit that you see here inside the box. Second, I'm going to program this computer to talk to the MQTT broker. Third, I'm going to go back to my Domino's code and set it up so that instead of just ordering one pizza, I can actually take each of these 5 push buttons and order one of 5 different pizzas. So I got to do a little modification there. Then I'm going to turn around and write this app. And I'm doing this last because this will actually be the easiest part. All this app will do is turn on, say that there's 5 pizzas available, and then listen. And whenever a button is pushed, it's going to listen to that button push. It's going to order a pizza, find out if it was successful or not, and then let this box know. That's all it has to do. Once that's complete, the last finishing touch will be to put a plastic box on this device. So I'm going to design that in AutoCAD and 3D print it here in my office. Here I'm just starting from scratch. I don't know where this is going. I know I need push buttons, I need LEDs, I'm going to need some resistors for the LEDs, but I don't know what the layout's going to look like. You see I'm trying to use these colorful buttons and somehow put together a patchwork of plates, proto boards, so that I can make a device. But then, out of nowhere, it turns out I had no idea these push buttons had such big pieces of metal, these little leads, and they're not actually going to fit in the proto boards. I've got to use the small push buttons. Well, at least that'll make the whole thing smaller, although maybe less aesthetically pleasing. Now, I'm trying to start our thing up, but before I get too committed, I gotta check and make sure that the pins I'm gonna use on the ESP32 are correct. So you see the drawings there. Certain pins can be used for certain things, and you can't just attach those LEDs and push buttons to any one of them. So there's things I'm checking in software. There's things I'm going to actually physically test by making a program. Wait, what? Small print. Okay. I got my offsets wrong, but now the lights are blinking okay. So check, 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 check. This is checking out. Got to do the same thing for the inputs. Going through the same docs, writing some code to test, and then you're going to hear me say in hyper mode that they are all in fact working. There you go. So now I'm ready to be committed to these pins. I'm going to attach the computer and wire up from those pins to the different LEDs and buttons. I gotta say, doing this kind of work on a proto board, I think you should pretty much never do this. The only reason I'm doing this is because I have 2 days. I don't have time to order a PCB. Well, I pulled it off this time. The truth is, when you work this way, there's just so many opportunities for mistakes, and you can spend hours on a board, find out you did something wrong, and then you've got to scrap the entire thing. Worked out this time, but generally speaking, I'd say don't do it. Guess we'll start a new program. Let's call it pizza. Okay, so there's a misnomer. I called those 3 LEDs, I called them power LEDs. Actually, only one of them is actually representing power. The second is going to represent a Wi-Fi connection, and the third is going to represent an MQTT connection. But what I want to do is get those initialized. So I'm just going to set this up to initialize all the pins that I established in the previous session, and then I'm going to turn that one blue light on to symbolize that the thing is powered up. Oh, my dryer. Okay, first light's on. That tells us we got power. So next is let's get Wi-Fi. Here I'm just using the typical Wi-Fi client secure library that comes standard with the Arduino. Got to put my SSID and password for my home where I'm developing this, but of course we'll need to change that to my sister's information before I ship this box to her. That's more like it. Connected in half a second. Okay, the second light's on, but what's happening to our first light? Did that ever come on? So whenever you hand solder boards, it's typical to get a couple bad connections. I don't actually need to know that I'm powered up because you've got that red LED that's already on, so I'm going to let this one go. Blue light's not on, I don't really care. So we got Wi-Fi connection. This is working. The next is to get an MQTT connection. Blue light ended up working later. Again, I'm using the standard pub sub library that comes in the Arduino environment. I'm going to be talking to the broker that I already have on my DigitalOcean server. White light, we got the MQTT connection, so we're good to go. This is telling us that we're talking to the broker, and we can start to communicate and do things like tell it that a button was pushed because we're requesting a pizza. So I'm just going to put some extra code, publish some messages to the app that does not yet exist, and also listen 4 messages from the app, which does not yet exist. So there's 3 JavaScript files here: find, menu, and order. And what this is going to be is, one is you enter your address, you hard code your address into the file and run it, and it will give you a list of stores near your desired address. Once you pick a store you want to use, you then put that store number into the menu file, you hard code it, and then run that file, and it will pull back a menu for that store. Once you have a menu for that store, you can then order a pizza. So what you need to do is, again, hard code your data into the order file, street address, store ID, what you want to order. This is some item I already selected, and then you have to put your credit card information in. You run this JavaScript, it'll hit the API for Domino's and actually put the order in for you. The one thing I got to figure out, what I need to figure out is how to get a tip in there. You can give an amount for the credit card, but if you put in more than the order amount, it rejects your order. So how do you tip? Well, the guy from Domino's called me. Hello? But not because of tips. Hi, yes. Because of my order. Okay, so I've got to explain. I'm actually working on ordering Domino's pizzas through the internet with JavaScript programming language. No, I just wanted the regular spinach and feta, but are you saying the way it was ordered, you'd get pizza sauce on there? No kidding. Okay, no, I don't want the sauce. Just came to Domino's, and they helped me figure out how it works. So the manager at Domino's was cool. He invited me down to the store to work on this stuff, but the end of the story is no dice, we can't do tips. So this part's going to be relatively relaxing compared to some of the other stuff I was doing. Job is simple. Just need to get a new program that has an MQTT connection, and it's going to, as you see here, take some default parameters, which means 5 pizzas, all of which are true, meaning true they are available. And it's going to read a params file. If the file doesn't exist, it's going to take these default params and write them to disk. So now we have saved to disk that 5 pizzas are available. Whenever we order a pizza, we're going to change those trues to false and again save it to disk. I've got to get some MQTT routes. When I get a hello from the ESP32, I'm going to send it to params so it knows how many pizzas it gets. When I get an order from that ESP32, I'm going to turn around and call that Dominoes API. And based on the results of that API, I'm going to change the params. I'm either going to leave them as true, meaning the pizza is still available, or change them to false because the order was made. I then have to go back to the ESP32 and make it accept this information from the app. So what we're doing right now is we're running an app. An app is an MQTT listener, and it listens for button pushes, and when the button pushes come in, it orders pizzas, and then based on the result of that pizza order, it sends back params and it persists those params to here so we can remember what's been pressed. I got to rerun the app, which will tell the thing, okay, you now have 5 green lights. Okay, 5 green lights. So I think we're good. This thing is, now all I have to do is take this JavaScript, put it on the cloud, and run it. Now I'm just taking this app, which is fully developed, and I'm going to send it up to the Digitalocean. There we go. Now I just need to, now I actually need to turn on the orders on the cloud, where it'll actually execute the orders. I'm going to 3D print a box for this. Then we're finished. The last step will be to make a box for this thing. I'm going to use very simple techniques. I'm just going to have one plate that comes down on this side, one plate that comes down this side. Then I'm going to have 4 bolts in the corners, and when you tighten the bolts, the 2 plates just hold us down. So what it means is I just need to have setups to touch here, 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 6 points. And on this side, I'm going to touch all 4 corners of this board. I'm going to hold down the ESP, and I'm going to touch these 2 corners. When these 2 pieces come together, everything will be held in place. flying now because we got to get out the door. I found that a 6mm diameter post with a 3mm diameter hole is perfect for threading 440 screws. Alright, that's going to need to be good enough. We're going to get this thing wrapped. Done.
Ever asked for.
Huh. Larry. Is that Larry's?
Dave's overcome with emotion. He's trying to come up with the words to say thank you.